Welcome to Attican Plays, a few of my favorites. All right, hi, this is Attican and welcome to Series 1, Episode 1 of a new series called A Few of My Favorites. These are games that I play when I need a break from making videos. Games that I enjoy playing. I may never make videos of them, although I recognize the irony that I'm about to make one. But they probably won't cover them in depth in a video series, but they are games that I would absolutely recommend to you if you're looking for something new, if you're getting a little bored with the games you're playing and you want something else to play. These are games that I have and that I enjoy. I'm going to do 3 or 4 of these, maybe one episode with each game, maybe a couple if it takes more to cover something, and we'll just have at it. And I'll show you some of the games that I enjoy playing. And again, these are all games that I would certainly recommend because I do enjoy playing them. Okay, we're going to start with a game called Planetbase, and this is one I play from time to time. It's basically a city builder in space. It's got a little bit of surviving Mars kind of thing, but it's simplified. It's got a little bit of Banished kind of thing, but it's in space. So we're going to do a new game. And well, when you do a new game, you get these 4 different types of planets that you can choose to just kind of play almost like a sandbox. I don't do sandbox very often, but this is the easier one. You can see the ratings on them. Suicide, basically, there's no atmosphere, so you have to get your power during the day from solar panels. You have to have enough accumulators to last through the night, and often the nighttime is very long. So it's very, very hard to have enough power, and you really have to work hard to really be careful to get there on this one. The overwhelming is kind of this with a little atmosphere, as I recall. It's got some solar flares and stuff that can cause you problems. The challenging one here is the one actually we're going to play, but not in this mode. But this is like an ice planet where everything's very cold. You get blizzards and all that. And then this one is easier. It's not as cold. It's got you do have an atmosphere, so you can use wind turbines and solar power to get your solar generators to get your power. So it is much easier. But we're going to do one of the challenges here. We're going to do a challenge called, my favorite one, called Frozen Cage. And they all go from, not so hard to really hard. And the only thing about this one, like the Dark Moon, that's that very hard planet I showed you without the atmosphere, and you have to grow to 300 people. That's a lot of people, and you really have to watch. There's many, many ways you can fail, but it can be done. And then all these others are kind of the same kind of deal. But we're going to do the Frozen Cage because it doesn't take that long, and I just want to give you a taste. And it's great. It's a good one. It's my favorite one. While traveling to your next assignment, the life support systems in your vessel have broken down, and you've been forced to perform an emergency landing on the nearest planet. You are unsure of what awaits there, but the only chance of survival seems to be to try to communicate with base station and hope for a rescue. So we have to build 3 radio antennas and 3 radio consoles and survive for 15 days. So they're simulating us having to do emergency landing, figure out what we can do to survive, and get some communications up so that we can make contact with the base station and be rescued. Now, the developers seem to love these intro things they do because you cannot get out of it. You have to watch the whole thing. So this is our crew coming out, and we've got these little bots that do all kinds of stuff for us. And there's no pause on this one, so I need to just jump right on this, and I'll explain some things later. And again, I'm not going to try to teach you the game. I'm just going to play it a little bit and enjoy it and give you a taste of it. And if you like it, have at it. Any game that you see on this series, obviously I recommend it because it's one that I enjoy playing. And what I'm doing right now is just setting up power and water. And I'm putting priorities on these because I want to keep laying out the rest of the base, but that has to be built first. and I'm laying out the rest of it primarily because I want, if there's anything not busy, I want any person or bot not busy, I want them to at a minimum start carrying stuff. So you see we have an oxygen generator. It needs water. It needs power and water. And we haven't built this water out there. That's why I put that on a priority to get this thing going, because these guys out here will run out of oxygen. They need to be able to get in there and get some air and charge up their spacesuits so they can go back out. Okay, so this right here is called a processing plant. We can take raw materials that we mine ore and turn it into metal. We can take the starch that's going to be produced here in our bio lab, biodome, where we're going to grow our food. It'll create starch as a byproduct. We can turn that into bioplastics, and then everything that you do is basically made out of some combination and quantity of metal and bioplastics. So they're both very important. So important that I want to make sure that this gets, whoops, no, that's wrong. I want that and that. I want the machines that make the metal and the plastics to be done first off. Okay, we're looking pretty good. The oxygen should start working here, and we should be getting better as we go here. And we have 2 biologists in this particular one. That's all we'll ever have. So that 6 that I've got there, that's about as much as they can handle and still do a really good job. So that's what we're going to do, is give them that many. Once this is built, we really will have built our basic base for the start, and we'll have to expand it in order to continue to survive. But this will get us going. That's the place to eat. That's where food will be generated, and this is a place to sleep. And it's a cabin. It's a little bit nicer, but we have a small crew, so they can fit in there easily. Might as well give them a nice night's sleep. All right, I'm going to speed this up and let it go. And now there's a blizzard, so I'm going to shut down the mine. We don't want people out there, but this first night we're going to have to put up with it because we need to get this stuff inside. Some of the plastics that we need to build some of these things, and they have to be built. We have to have the food going. We have to have this going in order to expand and grow in the future. There we go. So this is good, and this is going to get a priority because I always want this thing working whenever possible. Now, I have different people. We have biologists who work on this stuff. We have workers who will mine and run this equipment. We have engineers who repair stuff and build stuff, and later on you'll see them perhaps going out and creating spare parts for us and stuff like that in a factory that we haven't built yet. We can't afford to build everything right off the bat. So what we're going to do here, now we've got a blizzard going on. We don't want anybody outside. They're going to take a lot of damage. So it's pretty good. It's a really good start because we got a lot of stuff in. See, they are going out and getting some stuff, though, and that's no good, but at least it's a short trip. There, the storm is over. We're going to reopen the mine and let them get back out there and get to mining. We have one driller bot. His purpose in life is to go mine, so he will create stuff. We have 2 carrier bots. They carry stuff. You could say a lot of this game is carrying stuff. It's a big deal. It's a lot of time consumed. And then here's a driller bot and a worker bot in there mining. And here comes probably another miner. Yep, there we go. Now we got that fully staffed, so we've got that functioning. And there's a carrier bot that's going to bring this stuff in, probably put it there. Yep, he's going to put it there, the ore in that, so that we can then turn that into metal. Now what we're going to do is work on getting the other stuff we need to survive. One of those things would be a medical facility. We have one medic. That's the only occupation I didn't cover. Let's see here. Let's go look at that. Hang on. Got to shut this off. I don't want those people out there mining while this storm's going on. See here, they all come in. That's a good thing. And I would like to build another bed. We have one plastic. That's this right here. That can be used for that bed. So the food is produced here. We've got tomatoes and whatever and mushrooms. And then we've got 3 wheats. So what we're trying to do is get a mixed blend of stuff so that we get basic meals and occasionally ones that are marked pasta. The pasta is where you combine stuff and it's considered a more nutritious meal. It's almost pasta's like code for balanced meal. So now we can get the mining going back on. And there goes our driller bot back out. And what happens is the miners can actually get hurt. The bots can take damage. One reason I don't want anything out there during the storm is they're more susceptible. They can even get damage from the cold itself. So we're going to watch the bioplastics and the steel or the metal, and then as soon as we can, we're going to build a sick bay. And you can see there it says 1 to 2 metal, 1 to 2 plastics. We'll do the tiniest bit, which will be 1 and 1. I'm going to assume 1 and 1 for the connection. So we really need 2 metal and 2 plastic. So when this number gets up to 2, we'll go ahead and start building that. I don't want to build it until it can absolutely be built because I want to minimize how much time people are outside. That's where you get hurt. That's where you get sick. That's where you get it. We don't want that. Let's close this down. It shuts down. It goes down to game speed 1 whenever the storm hits. I'm going to just be in the habit of turning off the mine and speeding it back up because the game is a little bit slow. It is a bit tedious. And in this one in particular, because we don't have traders coming in and we can't get more colonists. You know, if we were doing one of the planets, we would have a landing pad and colonists would come and we'd get more people to work and we'd have to be continually growing to match the new population. More food, more buildings, more sleep, more, a whole bit. And you just have to constantly keep bouncing all that out. This particular one we're playing is just about surviving. So what we're going to do is put in the basics we need to survive. The next thing, as I said, is the sick bay. We have 5 medical supplies. Each time somebody gets injured, like a worker out here, once we have a sick bay, and we can have one now, as a matter of fact. Sick bay, it's an end point, so we'll put it over here, and we can turn that back on. So once we have that built, then we'll need to get a bed put in there. That'll take another plastic, and we'll need to get we'll probably, yes we will, we'll put a little storage chest in here so all the medicine can be brought in. And the main reason is so our medic won't go out, and we run a risk on him getting hit by an asteroid or a meteor, I guess it is, or anything awful like that. So we're going to put in a bed. And now my deal is this. I don't build something outside, particularly on this particular mission. I don't build anything outside until I absolutely can, until I've got all the parts. But something inside, it's okay. If I know that's what I'm building next, I'll go ahead and put it in because nobody's going outside to get the stuff to build it, right? So let's bring everybody back in, speed the clock back up, and keep going. So what else is happening here that okay, this is, I said, this is the meal maker. So the veggies and the wheat that we grow here go into that meal maker and it makes meals for us. And you can see we're getting a nice, we're doing fine on the meals, and they have water here. They all get thirsty, they need water, they need sleep, they need food, and they need some entertainment. That's what that video screen is for. Let me turn it around here where you can see it. And it kind of just shows the news or whatever. I'm not sure how they get that. Maybe they got, I don't think they're streaming given the circumstances they're in, so they're probably just watching reruns of I Love Lucy or something. Okay. So there we go. We got our sick bay all built. Now we could try to make more medicine, right? But we're not going to. We could put in a lab for our medic to make medicine when he or she isn't busy helping someone. But we're not. We only got 15 days here. We're going to prioritize other things. So the next thing we want is a factory. So see at 2 to 4, 2 to 4, we're going to go 2 and 2 plus 1 and 1. We're going to do 3 and 3. So when we have 3 plastics and 3 metals, we'll build this factory. The factory, you'll see in a minute what it does, but it'll build spares for us. The main thing, what we want is spares to keep this stuff going, because your power sources in particular, they wear down. See this condition? They wear down, and when they get low enough, you have to give them a spare and service them, or you lose them. Well, we lose our power, we're dead. So that's our next goal, is to get spares done. So that will be, like as I said, when this gets to 3 and 3, and we have both of these done. And this is why I have this on priority. I want, anytime a worker can work here, he has the ability to make one of these, I want it made. Right? Okay. Our food's looking good, and I knew it would with this combo. A combo of 3 wheat, 1 tomato plant, a mushroom, and a radish. But let's see. All right, close her down, speed her back up. Okay. Notice right here we had a bot that was damaged, and one of the engineers is actually repairing it. And there is a facility where we can repair bots, but we're going to be done too quickly to build one of those. They're great to have. Automatic repair, you put in a little bay, and the bot, whenever it's not 100%, will go in there and get serviced. And that's terrific. Keeps your engineers from having to do it, and it keeps your bots in good repair. But we're going to do without that on this quick mission. All right, we can see this is running, this bioplastic processor. When it gets to 3 and 3, we're going to be good. And the storm just ended, and I think we're there. Here we go. So now we can put in our factory. Let's put it, we'll put it right there attached to that. And various bots and people are carrying the stuff out there to get this work done. And you'll know some thuds. We do get meteors coming in here, and yes, one of them could just land right on your person or right on one of the buildings or whatever. If you're inside, typically you'll survive. You don't have to, but you could survive and you can be rescued. But if you're outside and one hits you, well, that's it. You're done. All right, we're going to put in the spares maker in this factory, and engineers work in here to make the spares. And you see we're in good shape right now. We have our full 5. Now that we have a factory, we can put limits on stuff. And we're going to say, well, it doesn't really matter. We're going to say 5 of these, 5 of these. I'm going to set that at 2, even though I don't think we'll ever make any. I'm doing these and it really doesn't matter, because we're not going to have the ability to do anything about it anyway. But anyway, there's limits. The main one is the spares. I don't want to be constantly making spares, although that won't happen in this case. All right, let's shut her down and wait. Oh, that's been made. Excellent. So now, what would we like next? Well, next we're going to need a control room. See, here's one that broke down outside. Our engineer's out fixing it. And having to sit out there in that horrible weather, but at least he's right near the airlock and he can get in quickly. There we go. What was that? That was our driller bot, I think. Yep. We'd like to keep our driller bot. There we go. Now, Mr. Driller Bot, you can go back to work. So you can see this. This is the starch that comes from these plants. So we got a decent supply of starch. So we should be okay making this stuff and making that. So what do we want next? We want a control room. That's where we're going to put our radio consoles. 2 and 2, so we'll wait for 3 and 3. So when we have 3 of these and 3 of these, we'll build a control room. And by the way, I've set this up. We have enough power between this very large solar panel and a large wind turbine. We have more than enough power, and it's one large accumulator. This will cover everything we're going to do for this build. So one of the things about this game is figuring out your own strategy for what am I going to build when I start a new planet, and what type of planet it is and how many people I have to work with and all that stuff. You have to come up with a different strategy for each different planet type in terms of what you build at the start, and that becomes really the key thing that you do is deciding what's my starting build look like. He's probably went out to get a meal. You notice we still got stuff out there on the ground. They do decay over time. It's better to have them in storage, but in this particular case, I don't want to spend the resources to build storage just to improve how long these things last, because we're not going to be here that long. We're going to get all this done. So what we say? We said 3 and 3. So when the storm is done, now here we go. Now here's something you hate to see. We can't stop it. This constructor bot is going out to do some. Oh, he's getting spares because this wind turbine is down to a point where it needs maintenance. So he's going to go out and give it maintenance. See, it brings it back up to excellent. Kind of restarts the clock, and look what happened to him. The storm got him. He's severely injured. Now an engineer is going to have to go out there and try to see if he can save him. Sometimes you can. Sometimes they just are completely lost, and you can't do a thing about it. All right, let's do our control room. We'll put it right there, off the oxygen. And yes, we could build multiple connections, but that just takes more resources and at a minimal game. The biggest thing I wanted to do in this particular layout is get this processing plant right next to the airlock, right next to the mine, so that we could just easily, quickly, and efficiently build more metals. Because building metals and getting your bioplastics, that's what the game is about, really. Particularly in this case, but really in any planet you're on, it's do I have metals? Do I have plastics? If I do, I can build stuff. If I don't, I can't. Oh, am I short? I miscalculated. I'm short one. Shoot. So now the question: do I tear it down or do I? Yeah, I don't want anybody out there. We'll worry about it later. So I've got. We'll shut down the mine, get everybody out of there. So you can see we're at day 6. We have to last 15 days, and we have to get all that work done with the consoles and the telescopes. We're looking pretty good, though. We got some backup veggies. We've got meals. We're actually good on plastics and metals right now. Okay. 1, 2. Yeah, we should be good now. Once this storm's over, we'll build our command center. Now, unfortunately, we can't put it right in the same spot, but we can put it close enough. All right. All right, guys, get out there and build. So the good news is the stuff they've already taken out there can just be picked up and replaced where it needs to be. Okay, now they'll do some screwy things, like that engineer built that, and he's going in, and now this constructor bot's going to come around and build the other part of it. All right, so now we've got a command center. What do we need in our command center? We need 3 radio consoles. There we go. Now what we're going to do with this is turn it off, because we don't want our workers spending time out there. Now, there is a functionality. I can hit like F6 and, well, here, I'll just do it, and put out an alert and tell everybody to stay inside, right? No alert, or come on inside, or come on inside and fight enemies. There are enemies you get, or, you know, renegades and bad people that show up in some of the bases. That's not an issue here. But I don't want our workers over here. I want our workers here or in the mine for now. They don't need to be going over there. That's already done. Next thing we want is actually an airlock on this other side. It's a 1 and 1, so I'm going to think a 2 and 2. So when we have 2 metal and 2 plastic, we're going to put an airlock out here so that we can get out here and put our radio consoles out here. So the whole trick to this one, if any of you played this and struggled with this one, is really shutting that mine down. Don't have minimal people outside during the blizzards. Just don't let them go out there. And of course, if you have your console, if you can stand that blaring, you can just give them an alert and make them stay inside. But I prefer doing it with the mine because I can't stand that rant, rant, rant sound. All right. So how are we looking? We need 2 and 2. Once we get a couple of these, we'll go ahead and build our airlock on this side. And we've been lucky so far. We haven't had any... and notice there's only, what's this, a spare? 2 spares outside. Everything else has been brought in, so we've been able to do this without any storage. Now, it would be nice to have storage and get this stuff inside when we're not having a storm. That would be useful. But again, the storage takes up parts that we need to build the other things that we need. Okay, we got our 2 and 2. Let's build an airlock. Something tells me a storm is going to hit like any second. It's just about time for one. But here you can see all the parts headed out there. And the engineer's going to have to fix this carrier bot. Now our constructor bot's going to go out there and build, hopefully build the whole thing. Now, let's see if he'll go in. Yeah, good for him. He's smart enough to go in the one he just built. All right. So we got everybody inside. We got our lock built. Now we want to start working on our radio antennas. They're going to take 3 metal, 2 for the antenna and 1 for the connection to the rest of the base. Your whole base has to be connected. You can't just build random pieces out through here. You do have little these little things you can use to extend the base if you need to, like through a pass or something, but we're not worried about that here. So we need, every time we get 3 metal, we're going to build another of these radio antennas. And notice we're only on day 8, and we're looking great here. Start the mine back up. Okay, we've got our 3, so let's build a radio antenna. And that's why we built that airlock on the other side, so people wouldn't, so it'd be a nice short journey to get out there to get that thing built. Uh-oh. I'm tempted to knock it down just so he won't be out there, but we'll risk it. So you can see we're down to 2 spares, but we do have the ability here to take a metal and a bioplastic, and the engineer will work on it and build us 2 spares. So we should be fine. Now we're waiting on 3 metals. So what we're going to do here now is let's prioritize the metal a little bit. Put in a second metal processor. There we go. Okay, meals are a little low, but these are all in good shape. Our biologists can handle this load. Now, we could add, right here, we could add this, a medicinal pad, and it would create the raw material that we need to make the medicine. But we're, as I said, we're going to intentionally not do that because we have other fish to fry. And I think, let me look at the water. 7.5. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think a small one would have made it. I think the medium was the right size. You want the biggest things you can handle. You don't want 2 small ones because that's more repairs you have to do. Like here, you wouldn't want 2 or 3 smaller of these, even though, because one, the total would cost you more to build, and main thing is, now there's a bad shot. We just took a meteor hit straight to the solar panel. So someone's going to have to go out there and fix that. And watch our spares count will probably go down to 1. Yep, there we go. And our poor bot is worn out. Engineer will go out and see if he can save him one more time. And we got 3 metals, so let's build another one of these guys. Okay, now we're down to 0 spares. Okay, we've got 2 of our antennas. And we need an engineer to get in here and build us some spares. And there we go. There's an engineer working on the spares workshop to build us spares. If we run out of spares, we die eventually. Because you run out of power, and you don't have any spares, unless you're going to try to replace with a whole new one, which you could do. That's possible. We could just build another one. That's possible. Okay, we're looking for 3 metal. There we go. We got it. And we're going to put in another antenna. Woo! Felt like it went right over my head. So we're in day 11. And we've got everything built that we need. So now we're just going to think about what are things we could do to make ourselves safer. Because we're good. We've got it licked unless we get some awful thing like I don't know, meteor hit. Our whole crew gets out here and a meteor hits them. I don't know. It'd be hard for us to get too messed up here now. But let's just do some things to give us some backup. Let's put in a water backup so that if this gets hit, we still have water here, so we don't have a time when our oxygen is being deprived of water, and really, in short term, our plants, real important, our plants are being deprived of water. So as soon as we have a couple of metal, we'll put in a water tower, a small water tower, and that'll give us a little backup water supply in case we need it. So a little water tower out here. So all your connections allow water and electricity to flow through them as appropriate. So this water that's out here can get all the way over here. It can also get all the way over here. Another thing you can do to help yourself out, especially if there's a lot of meteors, is put some redundancy in your connection so that if a connection gets hit, you don't lose whatever it's connected to. We probably won't go that far because we're not going to have enough time. There we go. Now we've got water, and you can see it's starting to fill up with water, and that'll give us a reserve in case we have a catastrophe over in that area. All right, what else would we like? It wouldn't be bad if these guys could maybe get some exercise. 1 and 1, 2 and 2. A 2 and 2 would give us a small multi-dome, and these guys could go out and exercise. So if we have time, we'll build one of those. As I said, we've basically got this thing kicked at this point. We're in good shape. And another key, just if you do play this game, learn how to build what you can build, and don't try to build what you can't build. That may sound obvious, but when you first start playing this, you'll say, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this, and you'll be trying to build all this stuff, and nothing will get done. So just watch your levels, figure out how much you need, and build something when you have enough stuff to build it, and not before. And then you'll have to, of course, as you get your planets and you're building bigger things, watch your power grid. We can take a look at that. Watch your power grid, make sure you're producing enough power. Watch your water, make sure you're producing the water you need. Watch your oxygen. But that basically, that 20 means we've got enough oxygen for 20 people. That's what this small one generates. So we're good on that. But there we go. Now we got a nice full water tank as a backup. Looking good. What did we say? A little exercise maybe? 1 and 1, 2 and 2. Yeah. Let's give them a little exercise room. Now we could look into, of course, another thing we can do is build a telescope and an anti-meteor laser, and we could put a laser here to protect us from the meteors. But again, we won't be here long enough to get that done. Let's give them a exercise bar, maybe a nice seat to relax on, some water, and a plant to look at. That sounds good. Another thing we could do if we wanted to, if we had a little more time, we would put in here, we would put this, which is a semiconductor foundry. It'll make semiconductors. After we had a couple of those, we could put in another building, which is the for the robots. And then we could put in that auto repair thing, which would be nice to have. And then if we wanted to go even further, we could put in something where we could actually create our own robots. But again, we're not going to go. We're not going to make it to that. Notice all these have this no person manning them. We've got this shut off because there's just no reason to be manning it right now. The whole thing's to 15 days. They're going to make us stay 15 days, so we might as well just hang on. So we got our small facility, a little place to work out, to sit and relax. So we'll look at a nice plant and get some water. So we're good. We're good. So we're actually good. This is actually turning into a little paradise here. Notice our count here. We've got 3 med packs, medical supplies left. Started with 5. So we've had 3 injuries, probably of workers in the mines. That's the most common thing. Well, you can get sick. You can get malnutrition if you don't have that mixed diet. If you're just having a diet of basic meals, you can get malnutrition. I have lost this before where my medic got malnutrition, sat here in this bed, wouldn't get up because he was feeling bad, and everybody, we were done. That was it. Your colony's dead. But if this combo, the tomato plant, see, the tomato plants produce a lot. They're a little bit high maintenance, but they produce a lot. So you always have plenty of vegetables, plenty of food. Here we go. Now we got a fully outfitted exercise room for these folks. Oh, this is day 14, so why don't we go ahead and turn this on. And we don't even need the mine anymore. We don't need to mine anymore. We've got everything we want. We don't need anybody going out there getting hurt. Now we can get these workers in here. In fact, if we want to, we can even do this. We can make this regular priority. I don't think it even matters. We'll make this high priority so that our workers will tend to go here to man these consoles. I'll just confirm that is indeed a worker doing that. Yes, operated by a worker. There we go. We hit all objectives. So that's a little intro into Planetbase. It's a game I enjoy. It's a little slow, sometimes there's a lot of waiting involved. But really, when you start building the big planets, it's something's going on all the time. Traders and new visitors, and I got to check all my power and all that stuff. So it's a challenging game. It's a fun game, and I would recommend it if you're looking for something to kill some hours.